Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Back at it again with another video for y'all, and I just wanted to chat with y'all. I just have a question. This is a video that goes out to the people out there that go to church every Sunday, or you probably somebody that used to go to church every Sunday, but you don't go to church every Sunday anymore because you started to see some shady stuff go down in the church and some weird stuff go down in the church, and you know the stuff that be going down in the church is not godly like at all. You started to see that some of the people that be going to church like every Sunday or on a regular basis, the stuff that they be doing is not even godly like at all. It's like they don't even have a godly bone in their body. And you probably somebody out there that probably saw some of the stuff that the pastor be doing, that the preacher be doing. And let me remind you, before I go into detail, in this video, I am not trying to offend nobody. But I know for a fact some of y'all have probably seen this stuff too. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but if I do somehow offend anybody, my apologies. But again, I'm not trying to offend nobody. I'm just trying to help the people out. Because, like I said, I know that there's a lot of you that want to know the truth, and I know that there's a lot of you that want to know the facts. And God is not going to punish you for wanting to know the facts. And yeah, like I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to content creator, YouTuber Papa Duck, because Papa Duck talks about this a lot, because it's like they just want us to accept everything for what it is. They don't even want us to question stuff. They don't want us to ask why. So I got a question for y'all. Does it seem like some of these pastors are more like pimp like instead of godly like? Well, okay, yeah, my fellow religious people that are like firm believers in God, but you don't go to church every Sunday because you started to see a lot of the evil stuff that took place in the church, and you started to see that with that evilness, it's not godly like at all. You probably started to see some of the stuff that some of the preachers were doing in the church, and you started to see that it wasn't really godly like at all. But yeah, to all the people out there that are like firm believers in God, because like I said, I believe in God. I pray. I read the Bible, but do I go to church every Sunday? No. I don't go to church. I haven't been to church in a long time. Does that make me a bad person? Does it make me a non believer? Not at all. I'm a believer. I pray, but at the same time, I do know right from wrong. And at the same time, I know that with some of the stuff that be happening in these churches, it be some evil stuff, and it's not even godly like at all. You know what I mean? And not all preachers are like this, but I know a lot of y'all too. A lot of y'all observe stuff closely too. But with some of the stuff that some of these pastors be doing, do y'all feel that it's more pimp like instead of godly like? Let's have a discussion about this. I'm gonna give you my answer like I do as always. When it comes down to going to church every Sunday, like they say, give God your 10%. And it's like you put the money in the church, and it's like the money it's like preachers. And then again, this is not all churches, this is not all pastors, but it's like they use that money, they count the money, they use the money, and then I think like with some churches they take the money over to the banks instead of like using the money to provide programs just to help the people out. The people that be going to church every Sunday, some of those people, they need some help. They could be in a situation where they may not have no money to buy groceries for their household. They could be in a situation where they may not be able to pay their bill on time. They could be in a situation where they probably going through some issues, and they don't have like the money, they don't have like the transportation to go back and forth to work or to church on Sunday. But yeah, like, do y'all feel like instead of like, and this is mainly stuff that be going down in black churches. Do y'all feel that like instead of them like using the money and taking the money over to the bank, do y'all feel like they could like use the money just to help the people out in the church that are going through it? Because that's the thing. Some of these churches be using that money, and it's like the preacher has like a whole lot of money. The preacher, the pastor, the bishop is wearing like a nice big beautiful robe. The preacher, the pastor is driving in a nice big Escalade. The preacher is like living in a nice big beautiful house, and the preacher has like a nice collection of suits and stuff. And the suits, they look so good to the point where the preacher is like dressed up like a pimp. And you see, that's the thing about it. Like people that be going to church every Sunday, that be going through it, they be having like the preacher have the people come up like if they need prayer. But at the same time, what I mean, that person could like, could like still be having issues. And it's like some of these preachers are not even like doing anything to really help that person out. What I mean? And again, I'm not trying to offend nobody in this video. I'm not trying to offend nobody. I'm just stating the facts. Like when it comes down to observing and looking up information and doing research, I observe closely. And also too, like common sense wise, like I always kind of knew something wasn't right, because it's like they don't even want us to like ask questions. They just want us to accept everything for what it is. And it's like if you don't go to church every Sunday, they try to make it seem like you're a bad person. If you somebody out there and you don't go to church every Sunday, but you believe in God, you are not a bad person. What I mean? You probably somebody that saw the evil stuff that took place in the church too. You be seeing people, they go to church every Sunday and they jump up and down and they be giving the good Lord praise. They be saying like, "Oh Lord, thank you, Lord." What I mean? Lord, you've been so good to me. But then it's like when they get out of church, they just become a whole different person. They get out of church and it's like all of a sudden out of the blue, they want to raise hell, what I mean, out of the blue. Like, I mean, and it's like they be in church and they say, "Oh Lord, thank you, Lord, you've been so good to me." But then it's like they get out and a lot of this stuff just don't really add up. It don't make no sense. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We're all human, but I'm just saying. You think that just because a person is religious, that they're a churchgoer, that they're a good person, but a lot of times it's like church folks are like the type of people, it's like they're like the worst type of people that you meet. So yeah, it do kind of seem like with some of these pastors, instead of them being like a godly, like they're more pimp like. It's like they be pimping people. They use that money. They got all these nice big beautiful suits, like they wearing this nice big robe, like. And that's the thing about it too. Like the what community, with them already trying to force certain agendas. Some of these churches be having some of these what flags. And yeah, I can't really say the word because you know how YouTube does. Like some of these churches be having these what flags in the church. And like when it comes down to that, that right there is an abomination. And again, no disrespect. This is no disrespect to the what community. I don't have nothing against what people, but it's like they already trying to like force the agenda. And now it's like these churches are trying to like force the agenda too. But yeah, it do kind of seem like some of these pastors, some of these preachers, it seems like they're more pimp like instead of godly like. What I mean? Which you do got some preachers that were saved before they became a preacher, before they became a reverend, a bishop. They was in the pimp lifestyle. and they're no longer in that lifestyle more. They got saved by the good Lord. But then again, you do got some of these other pastors that, with the way they be doing stuff, they preach the word and every Sunday to the people at church. But then when it comes down to the money and the finances, the way they be doing stuff with the money, it seems like it seems like they're more of like a pimp instead of like a pastor. It seems like they're like they're more pimp like instead of godly like. But I just wanted to share this video with y'all, chat with y'all, and give my take on it. And again, I'm not trying to be offensive to nobody. And if people took offense to this video, my apologies. But I mean, I'm just somebody that knows right from wrong. I observe, and yeah, just like a lot of y'all, we all know right from wrong, and a lot of us always knew that something wasn't right. But it's like we were always told that we have to accept things for what they are. But it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be a why person. Just wanted to share this video with y'all. Just wanted to chat with y'all. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share, like the video. And again, my new song, my new track, The Matrix Part 3, it's on my YouTube channel and it's also on my SoundCloud. Y'all can follow me on SoundCloud at Wally G. Let's run it up. Let's blow it up. Love y'all.